Greetings everybody, I am in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I am currently hosting a tour that I'm running. Maybe there will be more of those in the future, but it's been a lot of fun, and we've been finding a lot of really interesting fruits. Definitely a fruit tour happening. Going back to the hotel with our bags of fruit. And one thing that I've been noticing around, kind of surprised me, is this guy right here. This is the Amla. Amla is something that I have had before, but I believe I had this one in Malaysia. In Kuala Lumpur, where I was, there's a very large Indian community, and these guys are very, very popular in India. I didn't realize that they were also popular here in Thailand. I've been seeing this for sale a lot. What they do with this in India is they will make a candy out of it. They'll use it in juices. It's sometimes used in different sorts of medicines, stuff like that. And that's because this thing is very, very, very intense. It's very sour. It gives you kind of like a dry mouth sort of feel to it. So it's the sort of thing you gotta be a little careful with. That's why in India it's usually used prepared. Here they sell it with salt and chili powder mixed up. So you'll find this for sale on the side of the road as a little snack. And what I've heard is that people will take this, put some salt on it, pop it in their mouth, and just kind of like keep it in their mouth throughout the day as just like a, I guess kind of like a candy or something, kind of just like hold it in their mouth. So it's been a while since I've had this, but I remember how intense this is. So let's do it. I'm going to start with just it on its own, no salt and chili powder or anything. Whew. It's very crispy. It's not quite as intense as I remember. I have had a few different species related to this, and this one is probably like the mildest of the ones I've had. There's another one that's shaped like a little star, and I had one in Laos that was really, really small. Maybe an unripe version of this or a different species. Those were like very intense and kind of chemical-like. Not good. This feels a little bit like a very unripe, crispy plum. I've had unripe plums in the past. People also put salt on those in some countries, and it reminds me quite a bit of that, but the texture is a little bit more firm and a little bit more crispy than an unripe plum. Maybe a little bit like green apple, maybe a little like a really tart green grape. That sort of direction. And although this is called Indian gooseberry sometimes, or a Phyllanthus gooseberry, it's not related to European gooseberries. It's not part of that. It looks kind of like it, but doesn't taste like it. I'd say the tartness on that is like an 8 out of 10. But it dissipates quickly. So it kind of gives you this little shock of sourness, and then it goes away. So keeping this in your mouth and moving it around like some people do here does kind of make sense. And it's only slightly sweet, maybe like a 2 out of 10. And it does have a little bit of like this kind of lip-smacking, kind of dry mouth sort of feel. It's satisfying, but it's something that, you know, is not really used so much where I'm from in the US. You know, this sort of like dry mouth that fruits can give you is sometimes seen as a good thing, and it's worked with. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this salt and chili powder mixture, sprinkle a little bit of that on there, see how that goes. It's pretty intense because that chili is very hot, but the salt neutralizes some of that acid taste. It's not quite as sour. And the heat is nice too. It's kind of like having like tahini on a mango or something. It's still pretty intense because you're like neutralizing the tartness with other strong flavors. So you're getting heat, tartness, saltiness, sweetness, everything all in one little guy like that. This is maybe something that's a little tricky the first time you have it, but I can see really getting addicted to this. It's a nice, satisfying sort of feel, like a warhead, like a nice tart candy. All right, I'm gonna try the whole thing, a little salt on it, and do as I was told some people do here. Just kind of keep it in your mouth. Wow, this could be used as like an alternative to coffee. It's so stimulating to have that kind of like perks you up a little bit just from like all the intensity of all those flavors. It's a little tricky for me because I don't eat stuff like this all that often, but it is pretty nice. I can see getting used to this, just kind of like keeping one of these in my cheek and going through my day. It feels weird talking with this thing in my mouth, but I'm gonna keep it there for a while. Well then, I found Amla in New York City, which I've never seen before. I wasn't planning on doing anything else with this, but this is a rare opportunity to get to cook with this. So I'm gonna cook with it, or maybe not cook, I'm gonna prepare something with this. I wanna make the juice. I had that juice once long ago, maybe like 10 years ago now in India, and I really liked it. It was a very interesting thing. So I looked online to see different ways that people prepare this, and turns out that like this is very popular as like a medicinal thing. I mentioned it earlier in the video, but like very popular. A lot of the recipes, they are advertising this as for a variety of different reasons, and a lot of it is like, it's kind of like how people look at ginger. So I saw some recipes for making amla shots, like the same way you'd make a ginger shot. I'm going to go with the juice because, as I've established, these are pretty intense, and I would rather like have something for pleasure, not medicine. So I'm going to prepare this. So in order to make this, I took half of a cup of the chopped amla and 1 full cup of water, and I blended that up and strained it out. That is all that this is. A lot of people will add sweetener, a lot of people add salt, sometimes some spices, but let's see what it's like when you just have it plain on its own. It needs the sugar and spices and stuff. It's fine. Yeah, when you have it like this, it's a little grassy. It's a little bit like green apple juice, but if you put a lot of green apple skin in it, missing a little something. Some people actually take this, which is already sour, and put lemons or limes in it to brighten it up. Because although it is sour like this, it's sour in a different kind of way. It's like the sourness that you would get from an apple, not the sourness that you'd get from a citrus. So I can see the benefit of actually adding more sourness to this that's a little bit brighter than this. Okay, so let's sweeten it up. Okay, so I just sweetened this up with a little bit of sugar, and I also topped it with this guy here, which is has been recommended online to do this, which I've used this before. It's good. It's got like black salt in it, so it's got a little sulfuric taste to it, a little eggy, and also like black pepper, a little chili, mango powder. It's got a little brightness to it. Definitely something that would add a little bit of kick to this. So let's see what it's like. I like it. That is a complicated combination of ingredients, but it feels very hydrating. It's got like a little bit of salt to it, a little bit of like spice to it. The little bit of dry mouth is oddly refreshing. It tastes like it'd be good for you the same way like Gatorade is good for you, only it tastes good. Well, I think I like it, but maybe not everyone would like the sulfuric aspect of that. The black salt in there, if you are not used to having that sort of flavor in sweet things, it's going to make you think this tastes like eggs. Because that is like the biggest frame of reference for sulfuric taste. But if you're not into that sort of thing, trying this with a little bit of salt on top, I think would be good. Be like having like a margarita or something. Adding sugar to this makes a big difference because amla on their own, not very sweet. It's sour, it's powerful, dry mouth, not sweet. Adding sugar to this brings it more into the flavor of a sweet fruit, and it is definitely a welcome addition. Adding some salt into that and a little bit of spice to that also works really well with that flavor. If you're the sort of person that likes to put salt on an unripe fruit, or like chili on a mango or something like that sort of more savory, salty, spicy combination of flavors on your fruit, you'd like this because it gives you that, but in liquid form. I have Amla candy. Now this is another very popular way to use this fruit. And not only do I have these two packets, but when I went to Thailand, where I had the fresh fruit originally, they also had it. But the one that I had in Thailand, I didn't like all that much.
They managed to get every scrap of sourness out of this thing. So instead it just tastes like crunchy sugar. All the amla taste is gone.
So I'm hoping that these two are going to have a little bit more to them. This is sweet amla, so this one is just sugar, citric acid. This one has spices in it. It's got black pepper, salt, I think some chili powder in there, or coriander, cumin. This one's got a little bit more flavor to it, but let's try the just plain sweetened one first. They come in little wedges like so, and well, there's more to it in this version than the one that I had in Thailand. It definitely has some flavor to it, but not a lot. I'm not sure how much I like this, honestly. It's okay. It tastes a little bit like a piece of crispy, dried apple. But all the tartness in it is gone. And even though they added citric acid to this to add tartness back to it, still not that tart. The texture of it is good, but I feel like what I like about the fresh amla is like that intensity. And what I like about the juice is the intensity. I like the little bit of dry mouth that it even has. This doesn't have it, and neither did the one that I had in Thailand. So it's fine. It's fine, but I think you get like any kind of fruit to basically taste like that. But let's see what it's like when you have spices. This I like. The spice mix on this is very similar to the spice mix that I put on top of my amla juice earlier. I think this is basically this guy here. This has a lot of the tartness removed from it. There's no like dry mouth sort of thing or astringency or anything. It's just like a sweet, apple-y kind of fruit. But with the spices on it, it brings back some of that intensity that I liked. So yeah, I'm a fan of this. That's pretty good. I think you could probably put that spice mix on any dried fruit and it would also be good. Put that on some like dried pineapple. Yeah, I think I would actually like that better. So I think that's about it for amla. This is a very popular fruit in a few different countries, and for good reason. It can be used in a variety of different ways and for different reasons. You know, some people treat this like it is just pure medicine, other people have it as a snack. And I think my favorite application from the Amla might just be having it fresh. There's something nice about a snack that is not holding back. It gives you salt, gives you sour, gives you astringency, gives you heat, gives you all this stuff all in one go, and that's it's kind of nice. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye. I would like to give a very big shout out to Smarter Everyday, Bill T, and WootBot. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. This is how I managed to keep this channel going, so it is a huge help to anyone watching who is interested in learning more about how you can help the channel and get some cool stuff in return, like early access to videos, exclusive videos. There's actually over 100 of them already that you can get access to. There's a level where I'll send you stuff in the mail. You gotta check it out. There's more information about this down in the description below.